Good morning, guys. My name is Dr. Christensen, and I teach advanced physiology here at Lamar University. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about oxygen transport in the blood. To know how oxygen is transported in the blood, first you have to get familiar with the blood itself. In an adult human, there's about 5 liters of blood circulating throughout the system at any given time. 60% or so of that blood is what's known as plasma, which is a watery substance that contains proteins, fats, and sugars. And then the other 40% contains white blood cells for use in the immune system, platelets for clotting, and of course, red blood cells. Swiffer, what are you doing down here? Come here, buddy. What are you doing here? Sorry, guys, that's my cat Swiffer. He likes... Sorry about that, guys. But back to what I was saying.
Just a nice circular
red blood
donut
cells,
shape.
also known as erythrocytes,
Ignore
are
the
primary
little
oxygen
dent there. It's supposed to be a
transport
circle.
cells
I'm
in
not
the
an artist.
blood.
I'm sorry. And
They're
remember,
shaped
the
kinda
middle
like a
isn't
donut,
a
if a
hole. It's
donut
more like
didn't
a
have a
little
hole
cavity in there, a
through
little
it.
scooped out part. And then this would be the side view, essentially. And the shape of the red blood cell is what allows for more oxygen to diffuse or move into and spread out in the cell. This increased amount of surface area, as opposed to just a regular circle, is going to optimize the oxygen transport process.
Yeah, myself, I can't do all the donuts. I can't do all the sweets and all that. I'd rather experience the sweet high of waking up in the morning and just go. Anyways, mature red blood cells
yes,
are a bit
Dr.
different from
Christensen,
average
I just
cells
wanted to
because they don't have a
clarify.
nucleus or many
Isn't the
organelles.
mitochondria the
Because they
powerhouse
lack
of the
this
cell
nucleus
in
and
the same way
ribosomes,
that
they're not
I'm
able
the
to reproduce
powerhouse
on
of the
their own
gym?
or to make new proteins. They also lack a mitochondria, which means they have to get their energy through anaerobic respiration. I see a hand. What you got, Aziz? Thank you for the warm welcome, everybody. My name is Dr. Terry. I apologize for the state of my appearance this morning. I was on an expedition and I encountered a carnivorous Yes, that's
That's
absolutely correct. And
That
on
would
that
account
note,
for the
it's time for me to
slightly
pass
state
this
of my
lecture on to our
normally
next guest
white
speaker.
hair.
Everyone, please help me in welcoming a well-known colleague of mine. My sleeve when it comes to teaching students about the body. To continue with what Dr. Christensen was saying, red blood cells get their energy from anaerobic respiration.
This being the protein in the
transport
red
their
blood cells
oxygen
that is
load
responsible
areas
for
in
the
need.
reversible binding to oxygen molecules.
Because there are so few organelles in a blood cell, and because of
This
the
protein
structural
functions for
proteins
the
in a red
oxygen
blood cell,
transport
known
process
as
due to its
actin
4
inspection,
subunits. 2
the cell is
alpha
able to bend its shape more freely to squeeze through tight spaces.
and
The
2
lack
beta.
of organelles also allows more
My
room.
marker's not working too well there. You get the point. Polypeptide chains that makes up what is known as the globin. Heme is not a protein, but is instead a compound that contains ferrous iron in its center. Each polypeptide chain is subsequently bound to a red pigment molecule known as heme.
Since one red
Together,
blood cell can hold upwards of 250 million
the
hemoglobin
heme
molecules,
and
this
the
makes for a
globin
lot of oxygen
form,
being
as you
transported by these cells.
Hemoglobin.
It's also important to keep these hemoglobin levels constant in the body so that the body can maintain its normal functions.
The heme functions by binding oxygen molecules that have diffused through the membrane of the red blood cell.
Without constant levels being kept to ensure all this talk about blood and disorders makes me miss the peaceful and charming world of botany, where nothing ever goes wrong. Oh yes, feel free to take over. Accurate bodily functions. Blood disorders like anemia, which is characterized by low hemoglobin levels, or erythrocytosis, which is characterized by high hemoglobin levels, can develop. But today I'm assisting with this lecture, so get ready for a ride on the red blood cell rapids. Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Pine and I teach a course here at Lamar known as Limnology, which is the study of continental waters and the organ like fish. Like Dr. Terry was saying, oxygen binds with the iron found in the heme. Each time oxygen binds, it alters the shape of the hemoglobin protein, making it easier for the next oxygen to bind, and the next oxygen to bind, and the next oxygen to bind, so on and so forth until the hemoglobin is maxed out on oxygen. This increase in the oxygen's affinity for hemoglobin with each added oxygen molecule is known as positive cooperative binding, and the hemoglobin that carries its maximum capacity of oxygen is known as oxyhemoglobin. The oxygen binding to iron can be reversed depending on the part. I'll take over from here. My name's Dr. Hoke, and now that that's out of the way, let's continue. While hemoglobin is depositing the oxygen in the tissue, it simultaneously collects carbon dioxide from the tissue cells, which then binds to the polypeptides in the hemoglobin. As the CO2 binds to the hemoglobin, its structure changes and decreases the oxygen's affinity for the hemoglobin. This is what allows the
red blood cells are saturated with oxygen, and the hemoglobin within is now
the competition for binding space on the hemoglobin
from the lungs. The elastic red blood cells travel along arteries, squeeze through the tiny capillaries, and finally arrive at the cells of the tissues, where there is a low partial pressure of oxygen. Here, the oxygen diffuses along the concentration gradient into the tissue cells.
And with that, I'm out. Here's Dr. Yoder.
To continue where Dr. Hoke left off, the CO2 that travels in the blood is mainly in the form of bicarbonate ions, seen here and here. In the tissues where carbon dioxide binding is favorable, the following events occur. Within the red blood cells, carbon dioxide reacts with water to form carbonic acid, which then dissociates into hydrogen ions and bicarbonate ions
in the lungs and a high partial pressure
with the help
in
of
the
an
tissue.
enzyme catalyst. These pressures make oxygen binding more favorable in the lungs and CO2 binding more favorable in out of
the
the cell
tissue.
to join the other bicarbonate ions in the blood, and chloride ions flow into the cell to take the place of the bicarbonate ions. The hydrogen ions that were produced from dissociation bind to the area in the
Hello
hemoglobin.
everybody, my name is Dr. Yoder and I teach embryology, which is the study of embryos and fetal development and the like.